Do you know what separates good project managers from great ones? It's not certifications and it's not experience, it's feedback. But not the kind that you're likely used to. So in this video, I am going to share 2 proven techniques that most PMs never use, but the greats, they swear by it. Stay tuned. Hey, I'm Kai Husbands, a senior project and program manager with over 20 years of experience in digital and IT transformation. Here on the Vested channel, we ignite the art and science of project management, leadership, and innovation. What does that mean? You will find practical tips and proven strategies to help you lead smarter, grow faster, and build a standout project leadership brand. So let's be honest, project management can feel like a thankless job. Often you hold everything together, you drive a project home, and yet leadership mostly only notice when something goes wrong. Now, the reality is that the stakeholder feedback is often high level, and the reality is their involvement is a sliver of the time that you would have spent on the project. So what gives? Why is this the case? Now, how does a PM get real insight about their efforts? Sadly, not easily. And that's because execs, again, only want to know when things go wrong. And while it's necessary that we feel good about ourselves, embracing praise from stakeholders that we've engaged with for less than 90 minutes on a multi-month or even multi-year project sometimes probably isn't the most accurate feedback. And while there is a place for this and as a necessary form of appreciation, we can acknowledge that it's certainly not coaching or a real, genuine evaluation of our performance. So where does a PM go to get real actionable insight? Let's quickly break down the common feedback channels and why they often fall short. So number 1, let's talk about 360-degree feedback. We've all heard of it. Great in theory, we get some well-rounded views. It is anonymous, which helps us highlight some blind spots, but it is often vague, time-consuming, and impersonal. Then we could look at meetings with our stakeholders or key stakeholders. Also good for building trust, understanding some of our nuances, but this can also be biased or softened. And with a very limited exposure, we also get a limited perspective on our actual performance. Then we could look at project retrospectives. Now, project retrospectives are good for team insights and learning loops, but they're often focused on the project and not you, Mr. PM. The other thing here with project retrospectives is that groupthink and hesitation to get personal are a real risk to this method to begin with. Now, of course, we could also leverage polling or surveying our stakeholders, and on the plus, we can capture some general sentiment, but on the other side, they just don't get specific enough to really guide your personal development. And last but not least, self-assessments. Useful for reflecting or reflection, but prone to bias. You focus on what you think your weaknesses are, not what others actually experience. So here's the real truth. The gift of actionable feedback is rare because most people aren't willing to share or accept the truth. But the greats, they seek out the truth. And here's how you can also. So here are 2 proven techniques to level up, as we say, vest up. Number 1, project ride-alongs. Here you get to sharpen your leadership through real-time observation. So think of this like a leadership shadowing session, but with a twist, where a peer like myself or a coach like myself or a senior PM observes how you operate in real time. We essentially act as a fly on the wall. You do what you normally do, and afterward, we can give you real practical feedback, observations that we've gathered, and not just theory. And here's a really good example of an instance where I saw this happen recently that was so simple but profound. So a PM I mentored was unknowingly shutting down team input in their sessions or meetings with the team. And this was at a critical time where they had a number of issues on the table. And after a ride along, they would have adjusted their strategy, their tone, and their structure, and they would have seen a huge uptick in team engagement. And then of course, think of it as your leadership mirror. You show up, we observe, you grow. The insights are subtle but powerful. Project deep dives. This is my personal favorite and I use it often. It is structured feedback that centers on how you lead projects. And we focus on 3 pillars. First of all, purpose. Can you explain the what and why of your project? And can you do it clearly, concisely, and convincingly? In a recent deep dive, I had a PM who was struggling with executive buy-in. And in our deep dive, we discovered that the purpose narrative that they were sharing was just too tactical. So we restructured it around business value and around the strategy and the support that they needed for that program. In this case, they finally managed to get over the finish line. Number 2, process. How do you manage your project artifacts? It's about rigor. Can you tell a cohesive story using your raid logs, your schedules, your dashboards? How do you walk your sponsor through complexity? How do we work optimally with our stakeholders? And lastly, but certainly not least, it is your mindset. Are you proactive or reactive? How do you respond to change and pressure? And what are you doing to grow intentionally as a leader? So deep dives are a mirror and a map. It's not about judgment. It's not about grading, just honest, structured improvement, even though we do grade, by the way. So as a bonus, and this just popped in my head here, I'm going to include our vested deep dive scorecard. It is my personal scorecard, the same tool I've been using to help dozens of PMs uncover blind spots and prioritize growth areas. It's free, but invaluable because it's practical and it's going to be linked in the video description below. Now, I would use it if I were in your shoes as a self-assessment or audit tool to begin with, or feel free to use it with a mentor or a coach like myself. And I just want to make sure that you improve in your project leadership discipline. So now let me leave you with this. Are you ready to turn feedback into your greatest asset? Will you embrace feedback like the greats do, or will you let it pass you by? Now, if this video helped you reframe feedback, please like or subscribe and share your comments below. And what's the one piece of feedback that you have experienced in your career, perhaps to date, that just changed how you lead projects? I would love to hear. So until next time, keep learning, keep leading, and stay vested. Or as we would say, vest up.